Hey guys, this is the next installment in this series of videos in which I review Nicolas Cage movies in order they were made. Except I've only ever made like one of these videos and that was like a year ago. But now I decided to go back to it. So today I'm talking about the 1983 movie Valley Girl, which is notable for really launching Nicolas Cage's career at the time. So Valley Girl is a romantic comedy, and the premise of the movie is basically that it's a take on Romeo and Juliet. You have this Valley Girl called Julie, who falls in love with this cool Hollywood type guy played by Nicolas Cage. But her friends don't approve of the relationship. Right off the bat, one of my biggest issues with the movie is, like I said, it's a spin on Romeo and Juliet. You have these lovers that live in different circles of life. You know, one's called Julie, the other's called Randy. And there's even a scene where they're kissing in front of a billboard for Romeo and Juliet, in case you hadn't figured it out yet. Except in Romeo and Juliet and most loose adaptations, there's a justified or interesting reason as to why these two lovers aren't meant to be together. You know, like they're from rival gangs or rival families. But in this movie it's just that she's a Valley Girl and he's from Hollywood. But, you know, they don't really convey why that's such a big deal. I mean, Nicolas Cage's character is kind of supposed to be like a punk, edgy type guy that maybe clashes with the Valley Girls. But honestly, his character is just as goofy as the guys from the Valley. I mean, he even has chest hair that's like shaved into a triangle. And even Julie's dad straight out says that he doesn't have a problem with her dating the guy. So the entire dilemma that the movie revolves around just falls flat to me in that regard. There's also a really pointless subplot where this guy is like in love with the chick and that chick's mother. And it really wasn't interesting at all. It's not even like worth talking about here. It probably should be said at this point that this movie isn't for me. If it wasn't for this whole Nicolas Cage thing, I never would have even slightly considered watching a movie called Valley Girl. I mean, I hate the whole Valley Girl shtick in general, you know, like, oh my god, gag me with a spoon. I even hate that Frank Zappa song that this movie was apparently inspired by. Also, when a movie opens with a montage of women buying and trying on clothes, then I know it's not my cup of tea. That being said, there are some things I liked about Valley Girl. First off, Nicolas Cage was really entertaining. Even though, like I said earlier, he doesn't really come across as the cool, tough guy that the movie wants him to be. He does give a really fun performance. There are great little moments where he's just allowed to have fun. And apparently a lot of his scenes were improvised or his idea. Like when he's working at a cinema and he's just wearing 3D glasses for no apparent reason. Also, all the other actors do a pretty good job too. The woman who plays Julie does a solid job. Julie's parents in the movie are these cool, like, liberal, easygoing parents. They're not in the movie all that much, but they're pretty enjoyable, and especially the dad, who's like the stoner type guy. Todd's neo-Nazi uncle from Breaking Bad is in this movie. So the novelty of that was kind of cool. Also, there's this one chick where I was thinking, wow, she's really attractive. And you actually get to see her topless. And then I looked up who she was, and it turns out she's the voice of Tommy from Rugrats. So that gives me mixed emotions. I also need to mention the soundtrack to the movie, because it's not bad. I kinda like 80s music, and there's a decent mix of like pop and punk. Apparently most of the songs that are listed in the credits aren't even actually in the movie, because they were removed in post because of copyright and different songs were put in instead. But the songs that are in do fit pretty well. Overall, as I said earlier, this movie isn't for me. I'm not really, you know, the target audience. And also I think the movie is pretty dated. But I didn't hate it, and I have to acknowledge the fact that it was doing some creative things and subverting a lot of the teenage, you know, rom-com movie stereotypes that were around at the time. Nicolas Cage fans might want to just check this out because of the novelty of it being his first starring role, and the fact that he's pretty good in it too. While I was doing a bit of research on the movie, I found a video on YouTube of Kevin Smith doing a Q&A with the lead actress, the director, and a producer of the movie, which was pretty interesting. They talk about what Nicolas Cage was like on set, how he was cast in the film, and other interesting bits of trivia like that. I'd actually recommend watching that video if you have the time. So next up on the list of Nicolas Cage movies to watch is Rumblefish, which actually looks pretty good. And hopefully I get that video out in less than a year. So I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.